Welcome, brave adventurers, to the Everlands, an ancient and precious land, forgotten by many, known by thousands, but with a history that's no longer known to everybody. It is known to me, though. Allow me to impart some wisdom to you. The Duchess of Eversky was defeated by the combined forces of the Everlords, resulting in the destruction of the Evership, throwing the Evershard core high into orbit and raining down onto the planet in shards of rain in what became known as the Starfall. Razor-thin shards scattered into high orbit or were lost embedded in the very fabric of the world all around us. Some harvested from fields, others from deep in the earth. They are found everywhere in decreasing numbers, for they are finite and rare to find. Loki and Malok were famous, and bought the city of Waterdeep with their share of the loot. The Pana-Rosie Interplanetary Expressway was established, and trade between the two realms accelerated. With the added boon of the Rexatron device, anyone could teleport anywhere, so long as it had a House Civis data node. Somebody somewhere was making a lot of shiny out of this invention, and the worlds had never had it so good. But rewind a bit. Just before the Duchess was taken out by the Loki eye patch scam, somebody was with her. Somebody had always been with her. Always guiding as any good mentor does, carefully measuring doses, allotting ingredients, nipping errant buds, and stray fronds, a dash of salt, spice, and all things nice, the one that got away. On a sentient, battle-hardened, up-armoured tracked tea-trolley and cake stand. By the time the smoke had cleared and the list was being taken for who was accountable, she was very far away. Now, hundreds of years later, the world continues. There have been 800 years of peace, brought about by the creation of the Wardens, an elite team of law enforcers, intelligence agents, merged together from all the armies, navies, and intel groups across the world into one united force, equipped with game-changing equipment. However, every few years, bits of the Evership fall back to Earth. Most recent was 800 years ago when an asteroid called the Heart of the Star fell into Mercy Bay, shattering the bridge connecting the two realms beyond repair and severing the Pana-Rosie Interplanetary Expressway to Eberron. Some say Jim Bob the Dark Lord hurled the asteroid at the elven city of Hars, but it was somehow deflected with elven magic into the sea. These Evershards sometimes fall in rain clouds and are barely perceptible among the raindrops, washing away into the rivers. This Heart of the Star, however, was one of the more lethal impacts. Even though it was at sea, the tsunami washed away the fishing villages along the coast and caused widespread devastation to the elven forests, which even now are only just recovering. Nobody really knows how many were lost on that day, but the entire city of Waterdeep finally lived up to its name and sank beneath the waves. All of its learnings went with it, apart from the borehammer. Somehow Jim Bob the Dark Lord snatched it away from its rightful heir and used it to twist the fates of men, elves, and dwarves for almost a decade of darkness where necrotic powers washed over the land. King Everett I of Everwind came to power, and he spent most of his life uniting the realms against Jim Bob the Dark Lord and wrestling away the boar from the borehammer, resulting in Jim Bob the Dark Lord being defeated. 4 years after he started, the Everstar washed ashore and split into 3 parts. As part of the Treaty of the Everlands, King Everett gave 1 part to the elves, 1 part to the dwarves, and retained 1 for the humans, while sparing a star for Azoria and a shard for Nork and a shard for Dork. King Everett of Everwind brought the nations of Everwind, Everdeep, Everlast, and Evervale together with the islands of Nork and Dork to parley and truce, and recognise the universal authority to resolve all disputes as the Wardens. Neutrality would be retained by inviting representatives to take the trials to become one. They have many names through the Everlands: Feds, Coppers, Snotfaces, Blues and Twosies, Daman, but their official title are the Wardens of the Everlands. This peacekeeping, diplomatic, law-enforcing intelligence organisation were the highest court on the planet. No king, emperor, bishop or warlord could overrule them. Children everywhere knew of the Wardens and how they upheld everyone's right to live in peace. To be invited to take the Warden trials was an honour reserved for the most worthy of each village. Even if the aspirant did not pass the trials, they would still be toasted for trying to become one of the hallowed Wardens of the One. However, recently Warden ships had sank in mysterious circumstances. News had reported that outposts had been wiped off the map with no survivors. And there was a significant decrease in public opinion about the Warden's effectiveness, discussions of replacing them with the old Crown's Guard. It would seem that chaotic elements are moving through these realms once more, and something is amiss or afoot, or possibly both. The air has that odd smell to it. Seems to rain more than usual. And the bread at Granny's bakery just isn't as good as it was when Granny still owned it. Dear, fields go fallow, crops fail, monsters not seen for eons go on rampages through quaint little villages. Nothing could stand the test of time, and the weary citizens of Everwind, Evervale and Everdeep are simply doing their best to get through the trials that life on this world brings to them. Good King Everett the 56th is not as hallowed as his predecessors. Having married his cousin again for the third time, the royal family tree had a few dips in its skill sets, relying mainly on professional warriors, diplomats and politicians to do most of the dirty work and hard management of government through proxy. You are a new aspirant for the Wardens, here to take the trials, held every 4 years. Arriving by longboats rowed by you and other aspirants to the Wardens. 3 boats are here at the dock. Arriving at the same time as you do, a collection of people stand ashore, all in leather armour waiting for you. One holds up a megaphone and shouts out to you as the boats tie up at the dock and start to unload cargo. You are asked to help, and some of you have to jump into the waist-high water. It's clear and fresh with rocks on the bottom.